The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of salt. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking Eureka, Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot episode. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. This episode is going to be dedicated to Eureka, Season 1, Episode 1. This is part of our exclusive club members only access where we do deep dives on classic sci-fi shows. This month is my month, and I chose Eureka because I love this show. It's a ton of fun, and it reminds me of the time when TV shows just did that serialized. You know, there's 12, 15 episodes per season. Each one is like a mystery of the week. And we've been doing this for a couple months now. Last month, we did Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Jude, and we had a ton of fun doing that. So this month, we're going to be talking about Eureka. I am joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader's here.
Hey, buddy.
Are you playing? Are you getting your
I
dailies?
I have to do my dailies.
You got to get your dailies in?
Dragon Champions.
He's multitasking.
Yeah, he is
I'm watching the show on my iPad. I'm playing the game.
How many gadgets do you have?
But I'm gadgeting it up. And I could probably do something on my phone if I really... I'm an Apple shill.
Is this all Apple?
It's all Apple. I used to hate Apple.
He's got his iPad, his iPhone, his Apple Watch.
I could probably put it in my ears. It's ridiculous. But right now I'm playing Dragon Champion.
Right on.
And,
this podcast is not brought to you by Apple.
No, it's not. But it is brought to you by Dragon Champions. Go to saltynerd/DC to download Dragon Champions. And in the promo code area, type in salty. You guys will get a leg up. Get some extra gold shards and some cool little points and a cool character that comes along with it as well.
Free stuff.
Free stuff, basically, to get you guys started with Dragon Champions. I know Mr. Kadish over here is like masterclass level 80, and Vader is trying to keep up with him. Where are you at now?
I'm 51.
51?
I moved like 3 levels.
You
this week.
did? How did you do that?
I actually played it quite a bit. It's
Did you call off work or something?
No. But what I did, I watched one of our movies that we're talking about in the next show. I sat there and I played the whole 2 hours. I watched.
You just played Dragon Champions?
And I just kept doing stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what Kadish does.
Yeah,
he pulls it up in the middle. We're in the middle of a conversation, and I can see him turn his phone and go click daily. Another point.
That's what's great about Dragon Champions is it's such a casual game.
Yeah.
You can literally play it while you're doing anything.
Or having dinner with your fiance.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for a new mobile game, head over to saltynerd/DC to download Dragon Champions. It's a fun, easy to get into, free game to play. And they support us, so we wanted to return the favor and support them. The game is kind of like an MMO battling. You get characters, you kind of level them up, and then you go up against other people and other characters. And there's like a campaign that you can play too that takes you to different levels. It's actually a hero
collector game, and the goal of the game is to collect as many heroes as you can and level them up and gear them up and use them to fight against other players. It's a lot of fun. And if you go to the promo code area and use our promo code SALTY, SALTY, it gives you kind of like a little bonus starter pack to get you going. And it also lets Dragon Champion peoples know that you're coming from us, and we get credit for what you do in the game. And so, you know, if you want to help us out, you don't want to spend money on us, this is the way to do it.
Right on. Yep. So kind of like when they say, hey, tell them we sent you, that's how they do it, is the salty promo code.
Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Jude is also here.
Hello.
Welcome. So you've seen Eureka before? Okay, just a long time ago, right?
Oh, yeah. I've only watched it once before. I think probably when it first came out.
Okay.
I don't know when it came out.
It's like 2008 or something like that.
Yeah, I probably watched it right around then.
Okay.
I don't remember how much of it I watched because I think when you said you wanted to do this for the for Patreon, I thought there was only one season of it, so I'm not sure if I've watched past the first season.
Okay. Matthew Kadish is here as well, producer of the show.
I was a big fan of this show when it was airing, and yeah, it started in 2006 and it went for about 5 seasons, I believe. And you know, I was kind of into the whole like Eureka plus Warehouse 13. They had kind of like a shared universe going, and I'd watch both those shows on the SyFy channel, and got super into it. Like I loved all the characters on the show. It was such a unique concept, and my favorite is Fargo. I love Fargo. And so like I'm actually really excited to spend the month talking about Eureka episodes.
Yeah, so am I. I watched the entire first season. I know we're only going to cover 4 episodes this month, but I watched the entire season because I just adore this show. And I have to give credit to my wife. My wonderful wife is the one who introduced this show to me. I met her in 2008. And I think it was like shortly after that, she's like, hey, have you ever heard of Eureka? And I was like, no, what is this? And she showed me the show and I fell in love with it. I love Carter. Like you said, all the characters are so fun and they're all so unique. And that classic sci-fi show style that we all miss and love is like the mystery of the week, and it's very light and fluffy. It's
but the show's also got a lot of humor to it.
Oh yeah, it's a very humorous show. That Carter,
where Craig Ferguson, who plays Sheriff Carter, he's like the fish out of water, where he's like the dumbest guy in the entire town, and yet his kind of like street smarts is always the thing that saves the day.
Yeah,
in this town full of geniuses.
That's the thing that I love about this show with Carter's character is like he's surrounded by people who are smarter than he is, right? They're all super geniuses, but it's always left up to him, who has like the street smarts and the common sense to solve the case. I love that, like what is that word?
Juxtaposition.
I can't say it. Cowboy whiskey.
do you want to give people kind of like the basic premise of what Eureka is?
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you guys haven't watched it before, if you have never seen this show, Carter is a U.S. Marshal who is driving his delinquent daughter across the country. Basically, he's heading back to, I think, L.A. or some kind of California city. And he gets sidetracked and crashes his car off the outskirts of this town called Eureka. And throughout the episode, he comes to realize that this little small town that he's kind of fallen upon is more than meets the eye. And he gets taken into the global dynamics area, and he finds out that this is like a hub, a city for extremely intelligent scientists to do whatever they want and to work on different projects and to
it was actually
break
founded
new ground.
by Einstein after World War II to kind of develop like a community of geniuses.
Yeah.
Isn't it run by like the Department of Defense or something?
Yeah, the DoD has a finger in it for sure. Yeah. And it's a fun, it's like an open area for these scientists to just explore new ideas, and they have free reign to do whatever they want. And in that scenario, inevitably things go wrong. And Carter ends up being the one who they kind of look to solve the problems that they create themselves.
Yeah, like every episode, it's like a new science experiment has gone awry, and they kind of had to figure out, okay, what was the experiment, what's going wrong, and how do we fix it? And it's a very unique concept, and like all the characters become so, over the course of like the seasons, become so like defined and interesting, and like you just get super into it. And eventually, like Will Wheaton shows up, and Felicia Day, and all these other people.
What?
We don't have to watch it.
Down.
I'm out.
I don't think Will Wheaton shows up until like the third season, but he plays a bad guy. So
what?
Oh, he's okay. Fine.
He's like Fargo's arch nemesis.
Is he wearing an earring to show that he's a bad boy?
No, but he's got a beard.
Do you still have that "fuck you, Will Wheaton"?
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
That's a good one. Use it. Fuck you, Will Wheaton. All right, good.
The vitriol that comes from you every time.
I hate that little prick. I do. I hate him.
He knows that, and he's using it to make money.
Yes. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley. All right, that's the premise for Eureka. So that's why I chose it. My wife introduced it to me. I fell in love with the show, and for my month of March, I get to choose what we talk about for the exclusive Patreon episodes. So,
what's that like?
Oh my God, dude! He tried to make it up to you, and you said, "Don't worry about it." You're just still gonna use that card, huh?
I'm never
Here, you little bitch.
I'm never gonna let it go, bro.
You got an issue. Here's a tissue.
I love what a little nerd your wife is too.
Oh, she's super nerd. Yeah.
She really is.
A lot of the
She's
stuff.
so into like Stargate Atlantis and Star Trek. And Alex and his family came over the other day, and our kids were playing, and his wife and I just sat in the kitchen talking about Outlander. And he walked in the middle of it, and then he walked right back out.
I'm like, after what was it, season 1, episode
we were
7
doing
or
a
something.
comparison between the book and the TV show, which I love to do. So
Right.
if I get another human being in a room with me and they're like, yeah, I read the book too, and I'm like, oh, be my best friend.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because Ashley was like, the male rape in the book was far less traumatic than it was in the show.
My wife, I love my wife. She's awesome. She loves all these nerdy shows, and a lot of them she introduced me to them because I was more of a movie guy. And then when I met her, she was like, hey, there's this whole other world of sci-fi. And I was like, no way. And I started watching Firefly and Stargate, and then this Eureka. This is, I think this might be my favorite sci-fi show above like Stargate and stuff. Like I love Eureka.
Above?
Yeah.
Like you like it better than Stargate?
I like it better than Stargate. I do.
Wow.
It's a good show.
Wow.
That's a really good show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think it's like Stargate, Star Trek.
Do you have a history with this show at all?
No, I remember watching it, but I don't remember like Will Wheaton coming. I must have stopped before that. So.
I
Okay.
did too.
I'll tell you this much: like Craig Ferguson, who plays Sheriff Carter, basically carries this series, and this was like my first exposure to him as an actor. And he hasn't really been in anything since this, but like he is so good in this role that every time I see him in something else, I'm just like, that's Sheriff Carter.
Yeah, that's Carter. Yeah, I know he's like the new Maytag spokesperson.
Is that who he is?
Yeah.
He's the Maytag guy?
He's the Maytag guy.
He's the washing machine? Is this
Yep.
there?
Mm-hmm.
But this show, like, this was one of those shows that was like kind of canceled out of the blue. Like everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're canceling the show!" Like it was like a huge hit for SyFy. It was kind of like it was the same thing that kind of got Stargate SG-1 canceled, where basically like they were just cleaning house after like
Yeah, it
a
was right
change in
around that same
leadership.
time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And all the fans of the show were just like I can't believe like you're canceling this. And then I
What
think
the F, man?
Warehouse 13 went on for like another year or two after this one went off the air, and eventually that ended. But like at least they got like an actual like ending. This thing just kind of like quit. But it follows kind of the Buffy formula in the sense that each episode's kind of episodic. It's got its own thing going on, but there's an overarching kind of like season long like big bad type thing or story arc that they're following. And I think I want to say that the Titan storyline where they're trying to get to the moon of Jupiter is probably my favorite.
I really like I think it's in the later seasons, obviously it is, but the time travel aspect when they go back to the World War II era.
Oh yeah, and that's when the guy
I don't remember
I
any
don't
of
either.
this.
Yeah, that's a really fun story.
I
that's when
think I've only seen the first season.
that's when they had the guy from Battlestar Galactica on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yet again, more reasons
So
I have to quit my job.
I'll just say
I'm never going to be able to watch all this stuff.
I'll just say the reason why I only picked season 1 for this month was because I didn't want to jump around too much because I want to save a little bit for later because I'm definitely going to come back to this show later on when it comes to my turn again, and I want to be able to do like a season 1, season 2, season 3, and just kind of go through the entire show so that over the course of the next year or so, we'll be able to have like all the seasons in the library and my favorite episodes of those seasons. And we talked about the overarching storyline in this first season. I picked episodes that didn't have a lot to do with the overarching storyline because there was too many of them that had like little tiny pepperings of this big arc. And I didn't feel like those episodes were the strongest episodes of the season. So I'm like, I can't do the finale because then you won't have any context for the lead up to that. So I chose the episodes that I felt like were the perfect spin-off, one-time watch. It's all encapsulated in this one episode. So that's kind of why I picked these episodes. And the pilot, of course, you have to have the proper setup for this show.
And this is a really good pilot.
Yeah.
Like they call it a pilot episode because it's the episode that determines whether or not the series takes off. And typically what happens is like a network will commission like a pilot episode and they'll test screen it and see like how audiences respond. And if they order it to series, because they already paid for the pilot episode, they'll make that like the first episode in the show, which this was. And this is actually like a longer episode than normal. Like normal episodes are like 46 minutes. And this one was like an hour and 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it plays out really well. Like it tells you everything you need to know about the city, the show, the concept, all the characters. And it has a really intriguing like little like mystery, and it sets up like the season long arc and all this other stuff. Like it's a pitch perfect pilot.
Yeah, I felt like it was almost a first watch again for me because it had been a long time since I've seen this show. I kind of even forgotten what the whole concept of it was. So watching this and having, we got introduced to the characters, we got introduced to the overall premise. There's the quirky little dudes and the mains and the side characters and yeah, they did a great job setting it up.
I agree.
It's got Max Headroom in it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we're going to get into it. This is going to be for club members. So guys who are not, or people who are not part of our club yet, there's 2 things you can do to support us. 1, go to saltynerdclub.com. That'll give you full, unabbreviated access to our entire episode where we deep dive into the pilot episode of Eureka. And then further on down the month, we're going to do a new episode every week. So you'll get access to all of that, plus the backlog content with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Doctor Who. We had David Hewlett on to talk about that show as well.
Foundation.
And Foundation before that. So there's
all ad-free.
Yeah, there's an absolute butt ton of content on our membership Patreon page. So head over to saltynerdclub.com and support the podcast by becoming a member, and you get a ton of really cool stuff in return.
Yeah, and we should also point out that when we do these like kind of retrospectives. We actually go through the entire story of the episode. So like if you haven't seen the episode before, but you still want to listen to our commentary, we give you all the context for it. So like you're not lost if you haven't watched the episode.
Yep. Literally a scene by scene breakdown. And another thing, if you're a fan of Eureka already, but you don't want to sign up to be a club member because you've already seen all these episodes, you don't want to see four nerds talk about it, you can go to saltynerdstore.com. We have an exclusive t-shirt that you can help support us. It's a Global Dynamics t-shirt. It's got an awesome logo on it, and we're really looking forward to seeing people wear it. So if you want to support the podcast and get some really cool swag in return that has to do with Eureka, you can only find it at saltynerdstore.com. It's going to be a limited time. It's going to go away after March is over. You're not going to be able to get the shirt anymore. So head over to the store and grab that exclusive t-shirt.
It's also got a really cool quote from the show on the shirt as well, where it says like a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing,
and so is a lot.
So is a lot.
Yeah, and it's a cool design. Kadish and I worked together to try and nail it down.
You collabed?
We collabed.
No.
Yep. So
mind blowing.
It's not the easiest thing to do. I'll tell you that.
I know. I totally get it.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the episode. Patreons, join us. We'll be on the other side of this ad. And everybody else, stay salty, my friends.